The deal includes gradually pulling the Israeli military out of Gaza. Questions remain as to who will govern Gaza and if Hamas will disarm. Authorities report the explosion at a rural Tennessee explosives facility left no survivors. 16 people were killed. The blast could be felt for miles and destroyed the Accurate Energetic Systems plant, an operation involved in supplying and researching military-grade explosives. The site was reduced to a smoldering ruin of twisted metal and charred vehicles. The cause of the explosion remains unknown. New Orleans elected Helena Moreno as its next mayor, succeeding LaToya Cantrell, who ends her second term under federal indictment. 48-year-old Moreno won outright with 55% of the vote, avoiding a runoff. She will take office in January. A Democrat and former journalist, she focused her campaign on public safety, economic growth, and better city services. She opposes deploying federal troops to the city, a move recently floated by President Trump and supported by Louisiana's Republican governor. America's listening to Fox News.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, I'm Teresa Giudice.
I'm Clay Aiken.
I am Dre DeMatteo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Whelan.
Hey, everybody. It's Billy Baldwin.
It's Patricia Heaton.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
It's Candace Bushnell.
Hey, everyone. It's Henry Golding.
Hey, everybody. It's Kevin Nealon.
I'm Ted Lange, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
IMPD says a man is dead after he was shot. It's starting to warm up. Sunny and 61 in the Circle City. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 11:03. It was at a Marathon gas station, which is on Kentucky Avenue on Indy's southwest side. Police arrived at around 7 Saturday evening.
Historically, we've seen as the summer months come to a close, violence tend to take a downturn. But this was a beautiful Saturday. It's once again been interrupted by gunfire.
IMPD officer Drew Brown says that they are looking into this. Former IU basketball standout Todd Leary is facing new legal trouble in Hamilton County.
Todd Leary, a former captain for the IU men's basketball team and later a radio analyst, was formally charged Friday with multiple counts of theft and fraud. Prosecutors say Leary accepted about $50,000 from a Carmel father who paid for a lifetime training package for his son. Leary previously served prison time in 2010 for a separate financial crime. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 116-101 in the NBA preseason last night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. They play the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow evening. Tip-off for that is 7. And the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts take on the Arizona Cardinals for a 1 Eastern kickoff this afternoon. WIBC News Time is 11:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center with Ryan Morris.
A nice way to close the weekend. Mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the mid 40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morris for 93 WIBC.
I'm Jake McDaniel, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Attention, Indiana homeowners. Are you tired of avoiding your wet basement? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swainco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts. Imagine all the possibilities of a guaranteed dry basement, a cozy new family room, a home gym, or even a new office. And with no interest, no payment financing, you don't have to break the bank to do it. Make the most of your basement today. Call Swainco 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
Hey everybody, good morning. Oh, I'm so loud. It's 11:06. Hi. I'm glad you're here today. This is the first day show.
Self-evaluations are very, very important. I said self-evaluations are very important.
Listen, we're glad you're here. How are you today? Thanks for joining us this morning on air on YouTube. Are we streaming, Kielynn? Because I'm looking at the camera.
We sure are.
Look at my eye.
Join us, YouTube,
For those of you
93
that can
WIBC.
see.
Terry Lynn, did you get the shot in the eye?
I didn't take the needle.
You big sissy.
Of all the things, in fact, this is just a coincidence that we would say that, but when you look at the scariest things at Hoosiers, what they're most afraid of, needles.
Yeah.
During this spooky month, needles number one.
Especially near your eye.
Snakes, not bats, not koala bears.
You know, we can get
spiders.
inoculations, but when I hear people get shots in their eye or in their eyelid, that's an owie.
I know people that do it, and they have to, and they say the worst part of it is the stuff that they put in your eye to numb your eye, that burns, but then you don't feel the needle. So you're either going to get the burn.
I thought you were doing Johnny Cash. The Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire.
Hey, everybody, it's October 12th, and that means that I hope you're having a great weekend. Some of you have a 3-day weekend, of course. Tomorrow is Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm confused about it because, we go back and forth on it. I Googled it. I said, which day is it? And they said, it's both. So tomorrow is both Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. And some of you have a lot of days off. As you heard in the news, Mark Sanchez now in jail, out of the hospital and in jail, waiting for the next steps. Our 4-1 Colts are at home today against the 2-3.
The poor Cardinals.
Thank you.
They
Thank
had
you.
such a bad loss last week. Please, Colts, do not play down to their level today.
No, but I noticed this morning coming in, I believe the team is parked or in the Conrad because there were many
Big
buses there.
right.
And then you had a lot of Cardinals fans that were waiting with their pieces of paper and things to be signed.
But wait a minute. Why would they take buses? Wouldn't they fly into Indianapolis?
They flew, but I think they take buses then to Lucas Oil Stadium, and then they take them into
Those are
a
pretty
secret
fancy buses.
place someplace.
The ones that we saw at the Conrad.
Very fancy. Nice way to travel from here to there. But I would imagine they flew in. But anyway, so that's going to be happening. I saw a statistic this week that Colts fans spend an average of 2.3 hours a week talking about their team, which means 299 days of nonstop team talk.
Whoa.
In a year.
That's a lot.
We're not even number one, but is it like the Roman Empire? Do we talk
Definitely.
Oh, no.
100%.
You sucked me in on that
Every
one
day.
time, and I'm not falling for that
Every
again.
day, men apparently think about the Roman Empire.
Yeah. And I believed you. You sweet little Terry Lynn Stacy, and I believed you.
We took calls. I called my husband.
Well,
I asked
now wait a
him, and he
minute.
said, "Yeah, I think about it
And
every
then
day."
Denny proved it to us. The segment later when he started talking about the Roman Empire.
Okay. This is
anyway.
going well.
All right. Kielynn had something she found over the week about some sort of
The Super Bowl
sign, right? Some sort of superstition thing.
Well, you
or
know the Super Bowl
prediction.
is
it's rigged, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they
rigged.
have script writers and everything, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Last year they had to mix it up a little bit because people were on them, especially with how they designed the logos.
Because we become aware.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Are you a conspiracy theorist? I didn't
we
know
now
this
know.
about you.
We know the truth
Some
now.
of the evidence points to, well, this year, apparently someone looked up on Google about the Super Bowl, and the Google search pulled up the teams who were going to be playing on February 8th. Guess which teams?
Wow.
Get out of here.
It had the results and everything. It was
And
the Colts
the Eagles and Kansas
versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The
Colts and Buccaneers.
The Colts.
This year.
And Colts and Bucks. Super Bowl. And what was the score?
38-34 with our Colts winning.
That's what it said.
What do you think about that? Huh?
That's what, AI, right? Is that AI? Kind of?
I don't
doing that?
I don't know who's doing that.
But that's what she searched, and that's what
I guess
came
we'll
up.
have to see in a couple months.
We
I
had
think it's
JMV
remarkable.
on the Home and Garden Show yesterday, and he asked me what I thought, and I said, I think that we have better coaching, and their players are better in Oregon, but I said, I think we're going to win, and by golly,
IU.
I nailed it. IU won.
IU won. They did.
Did you hear after the game how they were celebrating?
Let's hear it.
They were loving it. Apparently, they stormed the field too, even though this was a road game.
I don't know what they're saying. I heard
Signetti.
Oh, well, that is a
Signetti.
mouthful. So
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah, I bet you.
it's a mouthful.
I'm betting that Signetti calls it Columbus Day. You know, he's a good Italian.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. Scott Johnston, who knows everything here in our building, he works for the Fan, our sister station, and he was telling me that he was showing me the statistics of what IU was before Kurt Signetti came here 2 years ago, and how it is completely turned around.
He is a
Broken all kinds of.
He's a heck of a chess
records
player,
and things.
and he knows how to use the portal. A lot of the coaches do not know how to use this interchange portal that is available to all the players
Yeah.
now. Signetti's got it figured out.
Kind of changed everything with this portal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And did you hear this yesterday? And I think this is the coolest thing, that the Savannah Bananas yesterday, they released, or Thursday, I guess, released their upcoming season, which was like 72 stadiums. I mean, it was just amazing. And they also announced that they were going to add 2 new teams to the league. And one of them is going to be the Indianapolis Clowns.
Is that great?
And I love that so very, very much.
So what does that mean? That they're going to play, the Clowns are going to play in different
Yeah, they will be
venues
one
too?
of the They will be one of the teams that travels around, and it looks like the full schedule, including their Indianapolis home games at Victory Field. They've got 2 of them, the May 15th and 16th. The rest of the schedule will be released later on, but you can already get your tickets. But you got to go to it's a lottery system.
Terry, there is nobody better at kicking up an interview than you. And when we had the founders of the Savannah Bananas last year on the show, that was it's incredible.
She's great.
What they have
we
done.
talked to oh my gosh, I
Can't
can't
remember
remember
her
her
name.
name, and I'm so sorry, but it feels like it's last. Anyway, she and her husband are the ones that really run this thing and own this thing, and such a great backstory about how it happened. But it is a lottery system, and I know that will be nuts, and you only have until October 31st. So go to thesavannahbananas.com and get your name in that lottery.
We talked with Emily Cole.
Thank you, Emily Cole. I thought Cole was part of it, but I wasn't sure. She was awesome. We'll get her back to show even how it has grown even in the last couple years since we talked to her. All right. Well, this is first day, and we're glad that you're here. Heartland Film Festival continues. A lot happening today, and more. But coming up, we are going to talk about. Is it the Food Championships?
The World Food Championships.
It is. The World Food Championships, Culinary Crossroads, very instrumental in bringing them here starting last year, and what the goals are for the future. Wouldn't it be great if we could keep them here forever? It's really a cool story, and we will do that next right here on the first day. Glad you're here, 93 WIBC. Well, the World Food Championships are back in Indy, October 16th through the 19th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. And joining us now is Larry Dickerson. Larry is the founder and director of Culinary Crossroads, culinarycrossroads.com. Hello, Larry. How are you?
I'm doing great, Terry. How are you today? I hope you're doing well with this great fall day here in Indiana.
Culinary Crossroads is growing Indiana's culinary scene. Tell us about this organization.
Sure. Culinary Crossroads, the people, products, places, and services that define Indiana's culinary landscape and make it the place where people want to live, work, and play. That's the overarching narrative that's associated with Culinary Crossroads. In that, I had the opportunity when I came back here, I was born and raised in Indiana, grew up in a small town outside of Anderson. And so when I came back, all the different experiences that I had around the country had taught me a lot about what still worked in tourism promotion and what I thought would be a different way to do it. And so working with the lieutenant governor, I said, what if we go out there and tell this story about our people, products, and places that are associated with culinary, and use that as an incentive for people to think about extending their stay if they come in for one of our conventions, or actually taking a look at where they might want to live because they got a lot of flexibility. And she liked the idea. And when I went to meet with her the first time, it was, do you like this idea? She says, yes. The low-hanging fruit, if you will, is people would go to our restaurant to buy our protein and produces. The more strategic aspect of it that the lieutenant governor pointed out was this would be a great way for workforce recruitment and workforce retention. So that's what was the impetus for starting Culinary Crossroads.
Larry, I have lived here in Indiana all my life and seen the growth of food choices and the diversity. There's something now, I think, for everybody.
And that's similar whether you are in Fort Wayne, New Albany, Evansville, or up in Goshen. That same dynamic was there. And you just reminded me of, like, I would come back and forth to Indiana, as I said, growing up here. And every time that I would come through, I would see that, wow, Indianapolis is really growing up. And I had lived in some major metropolitan areas around the country. And I thought we really have a lot to offer. And through that time when I would come in, I also had a chance to meet some of the women and men that were sort of defining that culinary community here in Indianapolis. And, you know, one idea that would be, okay, we can go do these pop-up dinners in other areas, St. Louis, Detroit, Grand Rapids, et cetera, and then reciprocate. And all that's great, but the challenge was, how do you keep watering the sponge? How do you keep talking about it, right? And that was what drove us and drove me to come up with this narrative of Culinary Crossroads.
Well, Culinary Crossroads plays an important role in landing the World Food Championships. This is our second year to host. I wonder if that was an easy decision for the World Food Championships to say, okay, let's go to Indianapolis.
When we had this narrative in place and we were going to put the campaign out, you got to figure out, once you come out, what's going to be the foundation point. And these same folks that were telling me about the culinary scene, specifically guys like Craig Baker and Cindy Hawkins and Teron Cummings. Craig had been going from the beginning to this thing called the World Food Championships. I said, what is that? And at that time, it was taking place in Orange Beach, Alabama. So I went down there with Craig and learned about it in 2017 and 2018. And then when I brought the idea of the narrative and the campaign, the initiative Culinary Crossroads, I said, well, what if we were to go out and promote the participants from Indiana, the Team Indiana folks? Now, 2019, it had moved from Orange Beach, Alabama, and it was in the first year of a 3-year contract in Dallas, Texas. And so I went to the lieutenant governor and said, I think we're ready to go. So we're going to do an activation, and we're going to promote and support our Team Indiana folks, and we're going to go down there and have a presence. And we're going to take our Culinary Crossroads ambassadors and go start to tell that story about Culinary Crossroads. And so we went, we raised the money, got a lot of help from Visit Indy, Lieutenant Governor's Office, Ivy Tech Community College, and the Lieutenant Governor said, well, can I go with you? And I said, well, sure you can go. The other thing that we learned at that time was after they get the champions, and they'll do this again here in October, They'll crown 10 category champions, and then those champions reconvene for what they call the final table. And they had not made a decision as to where the final table event was going to be in 2020. It's 5 years ago now. And so we go down, we're at the activation, walking the World Food Championships in Dallas, Texas, and the Lieutenant Governor says, "Why isn't this in Indianapolis?" I said, "Lieutenant Governor, it should be." And we literally, from that point on, this is in November of 2020, that's when we started just working on getting it to be here. Ultimately, we were able to give them a value proposition that was compelling enough to bring it here in 2024, and excited to have it back. And our goal, quite frankly, is that we don't want it to leave. And from now on, we can tell people we're not only the Culinary Crossroads, but we're the food sports capital of America.
Coming up, the World Food Championships, October 16th through the 19th. Joining us now is Larry Dickerson. He's the founder and director of Culinary Crossroads, instrumental in bringing the World Food Championship to Indianapolis, and the importance of getting the national visibility, too.
Oh, absolutely. Again, going back to an ongoing narrative that we're sort of redefining the state of Indiana and using culinary. And imagine that when we think about culinary, that you plant this flower bed that goes across the state. That is our restaurants and our protein producers and our farmers markets, and you see all of this. And when you think about what is of interest in terms of lifestyle for folks, if you can show them that you have that as a foundation point, then you can start having additional important discussions about what we have in terms of our wonderful cities around the state. Any city you go to, again, for listeners around the state, then you look around and say, wait a minute, within 15 to 20 miles, this is a phenomenal state. So the idea is that you lead with culinary, because whenever you're going to think of a new idea or build a relationship, what do? You find a place, say, why don't we sit down and have breakfast? Or why don't we have dinner with each other? So it's built around that context. And if you have the World Food Championships where you bring in 1,300 to 1,500 home cooks, professional chefs, professional barbecue teams from 40-some states and from 15 or 20 different countries, the most important part about that is that think of those influencers that they leave from here and they go back to their respective areas around the country and around the world, and they start telling this story about Indiana built around culinary.
Larry, let's talk about Team Indiana, the chefs that were selected to represent us at the World Food Championships. This year's team, tell us about their uniqueness or how they will represent Indiana's food scene.
Well, one, we have the reigning world champion in Colin Hilton from CRG, so he'll be there defending his title. That's one of those things where that was such a blessing that not only did we have him here last year, but Colin went on to win the world championship. We have a lot of veterans that have been back there. They know and they can teach others. Craig Baker, Cindy Hawkins, Teron Cummings. We have folks from different parts of the state. Marcus Daniel from up in the northeast side. So we have this diverse group of women and men that represent different communities that are there, and all of them have their particular sort of approach to it, because there's a strategy that goes along with this. They use this methodology because you have to execute what you said you're going to do. You have to have an appearance there that is compelling. And then obviously it has to taste good. You look at competitors from around the country and around the world, you have to know that you have to hit on all three of those cylinders in order for you to have success. And the good news is that because of that team that we have that was, I think, 10 to 12 Indiana participants, we probably have close to 20 various contestants that will be there from Indiana. This is our culinary version of the Pacers or the Fevers. You know, once you get in there and you see it, you get this excitement about all the things that goes into this competition, including having chefferees.
Larry Dickerson is here, the founder of Culinary Crossroads. Larry, what's maybe one story or a moment from the past events that stick with you and remind you why this work that you do is so important, why it matters?
Some of your fans want to go out there and see sort of like the next generation of chefs. And they have the junior chef competition, which is actually sponsored by our Port Council and also the Ivy Tech Culinary School. And I think one of the things that I found so exciting, and you see the excitement in the eyes of those kids that are competing. And I know because my son is a trained chef himself, and you see that they have that passion. And that passion that you see in those kids, I think, is something that I took away last year to say that's a future competitor that's there.
Well, Larry, we're going to let you go. Larry Dickerson, he is the founder and director of Culinary Crossroads, culinarycrossroads.org. And again, the World Food Championships taking place here in Indy, October 16th through the 19th. To get your tickets and get them right now, go to worldfoodchampionships.com. Larry, thanks so much for your time today.
It's going to be great.
11:30, news is next, 93 WIBC.
Picture this.
first day. It is a beautiful Sunday, and we're glad you're here with us as we get set for the Colts game. Terri Stacy, along with Denny Smith and Kielynn Talley, producing today's show. I just want to touch on a couple things you need to be watching for this week. Nor'easter. The worst conditions are starting to really unfold today, and we're talking about Delaware, Maryland, Virginia coasts. Those are going to rise with this nor'easter, and I'm mentioning this because if you're going to be traveling this week, or at least in the next 48 hours or so, I don't know. But it really could become an air travel nightmare for major hubs like Washington, D.C., and New York City and Boston with these strong winds. So just to be aware of that if you're traveling this week. Also, a big change coming for a lot of people who use Windows computers. Microsoft is ending support for its Windows 10 system. I know many of you are aware of that, but if you're not, I don't know why you wouldn't be. But there are ways for you to do this on your own. Denny, are you aware of this? I think, Kielynn, you know what? I don't really even know what this means.
I gave up on Windows long ago. I'm a Mac guy.
Okay.
If you have Windows 10, or if you don't know you have Windows 10, you go to the settings option on your PC and you can look at which update you have, and then you can look if you are able and eligible to update, and if you're not, then all that means you're still going to be able to use your PC. It just means that you're not going to be getting security updates. So
exactly.
You might be a little bit more, I guess, just
yeah,
having bugs and stuff.
I understand that there are maintenance programs now that you can get for $25 a month or whatever, $250 a year, that they will help support you, but they're no longer doing it for free.
Okay.
That's all. So you can still use your PC.
No,
it just
good.
means you're not getting any updates after.
Thank you,
after
Kielynn.
that day.
You know, I have to turn to the younger generation to help me through a lot of things when it comes to technical, and I'm okay with it. Because my hope is that I teach a little bit too, in some sort of way, that we can work together. And I love her. I love this little Kielynn. She helps me through everything.
I hope that this isn't going to be a change where Windows 10 PCs, this is just not getting any of the free updates, but I hope that it doesn't mean they're going to start charging for updates in the future with maybe some additional.
Oh, I don't want to hear that.
I hope not. It includes security updates, bug fixes, and
when
technical
iPhones
support.
update, they put in this code that always uses up more battery power, and that really gripes me. And there are guys now that have learned to hack that, so that if you charge your phone with this one particular thing, it actually reprograms the battery function charging mechanism. But it's really bad sometimes what these people do to us.
Denny, tell us about, is it Cloaked?
Cloaked. Oh.
This is something Denny discovered that, I don't know, but he'll tell you.
Is that your Halloween costume?
Speaking of which, our dear one is going to be at the Zoo booth again. So, hey, no, it's this application, and I just saw it, and so I explored it, and it said Cloaked will help remove you from the dark web and remove you from broker lists and all this type of stuff. So I thought, this is hogwash, you know. So I put in my phone number. All I did was I put in my phone number. Cloaked came back and identified every phone number that I have had since I was a child at Arthur C. Newby School when I was 6 years old. There was 241-7539, which was my first phone number. Then it listed all the other numbers, and I'm going, I didn't even remember these. And I thought, how the hell did they do that? And then they showed every address that I've ever lived at. They showed where I went to college. They showed everything, and I'm going, this sucks. How much do I charge? How much do you charge me?
Talk about spooky season.
Yeah. So I signed Jane and me both up, and it was $130 for the two of us. And I started it 2 days ago. They've already removed me from 559 sites, and I haven't had a single baloney call or a single baloney email since. Is that cool?
It's cool. How much did it cost?
For Jane and me, it was $130.
Okay. And how long will that last?
A year.
1 year.
Yeah,
what happens after that? Do they
I would pay it again
on?
just to get off these lists. Do you get all these
I didn't know
baloney calls on your phone?
Well, yeah, and then I just block it, and I usually will get a call maybe a couple days later saying just keep blocking them. But what you're saying is where the number, I think, is what
559.
Yeah,
there were 12 phone numbers, and some of them were an old fax line from the plumbing company. I'm going, how do you know this?
It's ridiculous that when we sign up for new things, that it is a requirement for us to go and say we are not allowed to sell our information.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do this.
Now, of all the information I put in, I did not put in my Social Security number. But they say that they can even find more if I use my Social Security number. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do that. And I've got credit lockdown and everything. 559,
it's a
ladies.
Scary, scary world we're in.
Golly.
It really is when it comes to where our information is and how it's there. And you kind of just get to a point where you're like, you just accept it. You're like, well, what are you going to do about it? But Cloaked is the name of that app.
Cloaked, and I found it on Apple. And I'm sure it's probably on the other platforms, too.
Okay.
It's the real deal.
Good deal. Do want to mention Kielynn. Yes, Kielynn Zubu continues today if you're looking for something to do. Kielynn is out there. She is the Wisp Witch.
Witch of the Wind at the Leeward Manor. It's a little magical house.
And what
in
color's your
Pumpkin Town.
wig? Because that's how people identify
It's
it.
bright yellow. You
Bright
cannot
yellow.
miss it.
All
And
right.
the cloak that I wear with all the feathers on it, with all the parrots.
Yeah.
See, I said you were a
Yeah,
parrot.
Pretty fun.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is fun. It starts at 2 p.m. And it's a great time for all the kids on fall break. We've had a ton of kids coming through.
And will continue. Fall break still continues, I think, for another week or
The
so.
schools do not take them all at the same time. It's sort of neat. Westfield, Carmel, all of them, they just keep rotating through. Zionsville's all different.
It is 18 days, 12 hours, and 17 minutes from Halloween. Do you guys have your Halloween costumes? When did you stop dressing up?
We stopped dressing up
in high school.
Probably, it probably really was high school. Sometimes I would dress up to pass out candy.
Oh.
But I haven't done it. If you remember, our Halloweens haven't been so good over the last few years. They've been cold or rainy or snowy or just, they have not been great days.
I dressed up as a cowboy and a pumpkin 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I like it.
Cowboy Denny. Trunk or treat has become the thing to do. Kids can start trunk or treating. I believe will start this weekend at different churches and leading up to Halloween. Halloween, that season of actually getting the candy. The kids can get so much candy with trunk or treats and everything that's added in your own neighborhoods.
Terri Lynn, did you ever soap windows, throw corn, or stick horns?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I come from a small town. You know, people will know.
I came from a small town too. We knew
doing.
how to stick horns and run.
Well, no.
Yeah, stick horns. You take a slat, and they always had a horn ring, and so you'd get underneath it, and you do it down, and then they always left their cars
Denny.
unlocked.
You know
so
what?
you'd lock
Oh,
the
my
door on
gosh.
them, so it had to keep honking until they got their keys.
Oh, you get shot doing this
I
kind of
know.
thing now.
Yeah.
You just can't do this kind of stuff
I
anymore.
didn't say it was smart. I said I did it.
That was such a fun time, but not anymore. Fun as snow.
Well,
Don't do it.
How about a different fun time?
Okay.
This isn't trunk or treating, but how about trail and treat with Indy Cultural Trail? It's happening next Saturday.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can get
there you
mini
go.
canal boat rides. I'm going to go just for that. There's going to be kids' music, balloon animals, and then, of course, candy. 5 to 7 next Saturday.
That's cool.
Yeah, Hamilton County
that's
Parks
cool.
is doing that at Cool Creek Park. They have the haunted trail, and there's stations like that, and it's fun. Kids like
It's
to dress
fun,
up
and you know what else is fun? And it started this week, and it will continue on through the next weekend, and that is the Covered Bridge Festival. And I know that the leaves aren't as beautiful as we hope they will be, and that's going to be closer to November. But the Covered Bridge Festival is really something you should do if you are a Hoosier, and we've got beautiful days ahead. The week. If you get a minute and you have a day off this week, going midweek is always good, but it is really fun. It really is fun.
Cool.
I don't know what it is about our covered bridges that we are so, we got to see them and treasure them, but we do, and I love them. You become kind of a fan of them once you start seeing. I think we have 31 of them or so in Park County, 31 covered bridges.
There's one at Shade State Park that my great-great-great-grandpa Westfall built. And my brother has
How
the
cool is
toolbox that he used, and Tommy's got the location. He's going to track it down and find it. But
Are you telling the truth?
I'm telling the truth. I really am. He was a bridge builder, and he had this great big toolbox, and Tommy took it. And but it's got all these tools that he used to build bridges. It's really neat, Terry.
Well, whatever you're doing this week, again, you've got stories still continue to happen this week, and you can hear them. Those and talked about all through the week with WIBC. The government shutdown will continue. Redistricting.
The hostages are coming home.
Hostages
Yes.
coming home. So a lot to follow this week, and you can do that right here with WIBC. Next on WIBC, Denny Paul, you've got Denny's Dollars and Cents.
Dollars and Cents, the midlife money traps and the great dollar diet. I've got two subjects I'm going to sort of blend together, but the money traps for all of us as we grow older are there.
Yeah, they're there. Also, next hour, before we get a break, you should know we're going to be talking to the president of Wheeler Mission, who sat on a park bench for 24 hours, and he had some important conversations that he's going to share with us. That'll be at 12:30, and then we've also got details on the Midwest's largest one-day conference for women, and it's coming to Indianapolis this month. We're going to take a break. Thanks for being here with us on First Day, 93 WIBC. Denny. Oh, yeah.
You've got a friend in
Denny.
when the road looks
It's sunny
rough
ahead.
ahead and you're miles
Well,
and miles
not
from
always. Been doing a lot of reading this week, ladies.
What your friend Denny said, oh.
Boy, you got a friend in
Denny, oh, yeah. You've got a friend in Denny. Denny, do you want us to shorten that up?
No. It's fine. We're going to be tracking 2 words this week that are a little bit scarier than a surprise colonoscopy. It's called money
Pumpkin
traps.
spice. Oh.
Money traps. Don't you know what money traps are?
No, but
It sounds like a pothole.
Well, sort of. And then I want to talk about something that I read from my buddy Craig Hempke. But the first one is the spending trap. You finally start making good money, and then all of a sudden, poof, it disappears. You get a raise, and you think, finally, I can do this, 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 and this. And next thing you know, you've done something stupid. Those are called creeps, where they creep up on you. But they really are, if you just be patient, if you take the money that you get in a raise and put it in a savings account and then decide what you want to do, it's a little bit easier. Then the same thing happens with investing traps. Investing traps, you think you've cracked the code. You get lucky with one stock purchase, and then you think that you're a genius, and then you end up buying cryptocurrencies at the top.
Sounds like gambling.
It is gambling.
It's addicting.
I think the stock market is like that, and people will always tell you they're winners. They'll never tell you they're loser. And if your portfolio looks like one stock and a prayer, it's time to diversify. I'll just say that. The other one is the inflation trap, and that's where I want to bring in Craig Hempke. It's also known as the Great Dollar Diet. You've recently heard that gold's been going up, ladies? Have you heard? Yeah,
it really is something it sounds like you can count on.
Well, here's the thing.
Gold.
Gold is not going up. Gold is staying the same. What's happening is the dollar and all the currencies are failing. So it takes more of them to buy 1 ounce of real stuff.
What if I would want to buy? If I said, Denny, you know what? I do want to buy some. I want to buy gold. I want to invest in gold. What would you say to me?
I'd say.
What would I do? What would I buy? How much would
I would say stick with. There's a lot of different ways to invest in gold. I would say stick with a coin, and start slow, and maybe start with silver first, because silver is much more affordable. Silver's around $50 an ounce. Gold's around $4,000 an ounce. So if you think of 2 coins, 1 ounce each, this one's $4,000 and this one's $50,000. Swallowing hard to get a $4,000 coin is pretty tough. But I would say start with silver. I think that silver has so many industrial uses, as well as that's what the U.S. dollar used to be backed by. So this Great Dollar Diet, inflation is like termites. It eats a little bit, eats a little bit, eats a little bit. And it's been shown that just at 2% inflation, which is what the Federal Reserve thinks they're shooting for, after 30 years, you've lost over half your money or your spending power. So when we say that gold's $4,000 an ounce, it wasn't 10 years ago, it was $1,000 an ounce. 5 years ago, it was $2,000 an ounce. Now it's at $4,000. So gold didn't get stronger. What happened is our currency got weaker. So why is the dollar shrinking? Well, central banks have been hoarding all the gold. You say, who's buying all the gold? Central banks. Because it is, ever since we've, there's a lot of rules about what banks can hold as Tier 1 assets. And now that banks can hold gold and get full value for it on their balance sheet, whereas before they couldn't, the Fed's not stopping to print money. And in 2026, they've already said that they're going to chase that yield curve again. So they could add $2 trillion just a year from now. So physical gold and silver supplies are running thin because of the central banks. But the point is that this inflation trap, the dollar's shrinking. So that's a trap for us. But here's another one, the credit card trap. You think about it's the biggest budget vampire I ever ran across as a financial planner. People use the credit cards because they think it's a good idea to, don't confuse.
It's like you don't have the money now. I did it. I did it and did it and did it and did it. You don't have the money
we all
now,
did
but you
it,
can do it, and then we can make payments on it to get it done.
There's a difference
microwave or whatever.
There's a difference between an emergency fund and emergency fund.
Yeah.
An emergency,
you're right.
Emergency fund says it's been a tough week. It's time for margaritas on Friday night. That's emergency fund. Emergency fund is when we set aside money for those disasters, like when the transmission goes out, and you don't want to have to borrow money for that. One more, and it's the comparison trap, and this is where our egos get in the way. The comparison trap is, oh, Bonnie and John, they just got a new car. David, how come we can't get a new car? Okay, it's the comparison trap. You're keeping up with the
Comparison is the
Joneses.
thief of joy.
Right? Have you ever heard it, keeping up with the Joneses?
Yep.
Well, don't get into that nonsense. Be who you are. Be as humble as you can be. And remember, there are no suitcases in the progression to the funeral home and to the cemetery. You can't take that stuff with you.
It's true.
That's real. So save when you can. Invest smartly. Don't fear the market and, the fear of the silent erosion of inflation. And for heaven's sakes, stop measuring success by the driveway square footage and what's sitting in it. I don't know.
That's Denny Smith. Dollars and cents.
Love it.
Thank you, Denny Paul.
You guys are too nice.
Are you going to stick around for another hour?
Well, sure.
Stay with us. You too, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the first day. 93 WIBC. The news is next.
How was that for a midlife monetary session, huh?
Steve Harrigan reports from Tel Aviv.
The Trump team already on the ground here. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, as well as Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, having some emotional meetings with family members of some of the hostages. Then they addressed a massive crowd out in Hostages Square in Tel Aviv. More than 100,000 people coming out to hear Witkoff say that this agreement is basically a miracle and an act of courage.
You've prayed, you've persevered, and you've shown the world that peace is not weakness.
There's been a lot of speculation about when the 20 living hostages could be released by Hamas. Right now, Israeli officials say they still expect that to happen on Monday, but they are monitoring all developments.
Part of the deal includes Israel gradually pulling its military out of Gaza, but questions remain as to whom will govern the Gaza Strip and if Hamas will be disarmed. Tens of millions of people are bracing for heavy rain, damaging winds, and massive waves from a nor'easter moving its way up the eastern seaboard, as Fox's meteorologist Adam Klotz tells us.
Nasty weather we're going to be talking about moving up the coast here on Columbus Day as well. It's already begun in the mid-Atlantic, some of the southeastern states. These are your rainfall totals. Some areas getting 2 to 4 inches of rain. That system's going to continue to move, so it's not really drying itself out just yet, and it's bringing some pretty intense winds with it as well. 45, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Those are what we're seeing or have seen. Again, that moves more and more to the northeast, the mid-Atlantic. So you're going to see rain ultimately moving up into the New York area, D.C., Boston. All of these spots are going to get it. 30, 40, 50, maybe 60-mile-an-hour winds.
Coastal communities are facing potential flooding and beach erosion. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. from the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More updates about him. Sunny skies, 64 degrees. I'm Jake McDaniel. Here's what's trending at 12:03. Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was released from the hospital and was taken to the Marion County Jail today after a stabbing incident that happened last Saturday, say police. Sanchez was stabbed several times in the torso, and he was in the hospital for about a week before he was taken into custody. Sanchez initially faced 3 misdemeanor charges, and a felony charge was added several days later. A judge says Sanchez must be in jail before he is allowed to leave the state. He is set to appear in court in early November. Elias Dorsey, convicted in the 2020 shooting death of Officer Breann Leath, was resentenced Friday.
I'm Ryan Hedrick, but the revised ruling does not add any prison time.
This is another case of where the Marion County criminal justice system is broken.
NDFOP President Rick Snyder outside the courtroom Friday says the Court of Appeals ordered a review after finding errors in Dorsey's original sentence. Judge James Snyder gave the maximum on the corrected charge, but let it run at the same time as the existing term. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indianapolis Colts are getting ready to take on the Arizona Cardinals today at Lucas Oil Stadium in downtown Indianapolis. The kickoff is at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. WIBC News Time is 12:04. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center with Ryan Morse.
A nice way to close the weekend. Mostly sunny skies, high temperatures in the low to mid-70s. Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the mid-40s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jake McDaniel on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Indiana can count on.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report scams, and update your software. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information and fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your protection today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is 12:06. It is a beautiful Sunday. We're glad you're here with us. I'm Terri Stacy. Denny Smith is here.
Good morning, and don't forget our dear niece and nephews.
Little Kai.
Little Kai.
Everybody
Kai,
listening too.
also known as Wisp, the Witch
Of
the Wind.
Do you have a lisp? Are you a wisp
zoo.
with a lisp?
That's at the zoo. She's at Zubu,
Be
which
whisked
continues
without
today.
a lisp.
Okay.
Let's see what else. It is October 12th, gang. Our 4-1 Colts at home today against the 2-3 Cardinals of Arizona. 1 o'clock kickoff.
They're ranked number 1 in the NFL right now.
First 20,000 fans get a color-changing Crucial Catch-themed cup. We've also got Mark
Well, wait a minute.
Principal.
Color changing by temperature?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Maybe. Or maybe like a mood ring. Just when you touch it, it changes. I don't know, but the 20,000 of you are going to get them. We've got Mark Grisez. He's the principal trumpet with the ISO. He will perform the national anthem. And today's Anvil Strike is by Indy 500 champion Alex Palou.
That's pretty cool.
We'll be striking.
Let's go.
I want to do that. We should have our own anvil right here, and we should just try and give
When I was playing Little League, Mr. Foyt had a baseball team, and it was called the Cardinals. And they all wore a shirt that, and it was back before we could really decorate shirts. It was just FPC, and nobody knew what it stood for except Foyt's Poor Cardinals. They never won a game, and they called them FPC, Foyt's Poor Cardinals.
That's very funny. That is very funny. Well, it's going to be a great game and a great day for sure at Lucas Oil Stadium. I forgot to check. I'm sure the roof is open today.
The roof is open
today.
today.
It sure is window, too.
The roof is open today. I want to mention to you, if I may, 46 days until Thanksgiving. And there is an organization that you all know that needs our help. I'm going to sign up, Denny. I'm signing up myself for sure. And then I believe I've got Kielynn on 3 days.
She's got me on board.
We're going to go over and help Hoosiers that are going to need a hot meal on Thanksgiving Day. The Moselle Sanders Foundation, you know them. They are planning to serve 10,000 meals once again. Which is double from last year. And to make that happen, they need 800 volunteers this year compared to 300 last year. So they're looking for lots more volunteers. And you can go to, where do we go for that? They've got, I looked, they have openings every day, Monday, starting Tuesday. Tuesday through Thursday, they will have openings for volunteers.
So are they preparing green beans and
You're
different
preparing
stuff?
meals and all that. And I think that would be such a good thing to do. I can do it. I signed you up, Denny, for Wednesday. I'm going to go Wednesday. Kylynn's got Tuesdays and Thursday. And Kylynn's on mashed potatoes. She's on mashed potato duty.
You know what I'm really
and
good
then
at?
corn on the next day.
Then corn on the next day. You're
I'm
right.
really good at opening those number 10 tin cans with a big industrial can opener.
Yeah.
I'm really good at that.
Exercising prepared him.
I sure did. I'm looking, Kielynn, can you check real quick and see maybe where we go for that? I think you go to Moselle Sanders.
Yep, MoselleSanders.org. That's MOZEL Sanders.org.
That would be good. That would be good.
What is our buddy from Wish TV? Was it Bill Raffaella? I can't remember the guy that always did that, but he was on
was it Raphael?
No.
Raphael seems to go a lot too. Raphael Sanchez.
We run into him every once in a while.
Bill Ramika?
Bill Ramika, that's it. Bill
Ramika. It's a great thing to do for your heart. And these are just truly, I mean it, these are like 1 hour shifts, 2 hour shifts.
And you get free headbands or free head
you'll wear like a bonnet maybe.
And some gloves,
keep your
some
hair
plastic
out of the
plug.
Really is such a great thing to do, and we would love to help them this year. It'll be here before you know it. As I mentioned, we're just 46 days away. So if you can help the Moselle Sanders Foundation, please do so with signing up for a volunteer job. Now, if you can't do it Thanksgiving, that's okay. They can still use you Tuesday and Wednesday of that week. We mentioned Rockville, their festival headquarters. It was really at Billy Creek. Well, it's in Rockville. The Rockville is where the Park County covered Bridge Festival.
That's where Dick Crum went to school. Dick Crum went to school in Park County. Oh yeah, and when I took him up in the gyroplane and we flew over his old place, we could see where he had burned down his old outhouse.
Oh
you
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's Cucamonga. I can't remember the name of the street or the city where he went to school.
I need to check quickly with Kielynn, if I may. Kielynn, I know we've got to take a break here pretty soon because we've got a great guest coming up.
Shortly, at least in the next minute.
Okay, it's Pet Peeve Week. This begins Pet Peeve Week.
Oh my gosh, my biggest pet peeve.
And so this is your opportunity at this moment, everybody, all at the same time, not in this room. You just get it out. The pet peeve. Denny, do you have a pet peeve?
Yes.
What is it?
People who talk too much and listen too little.
Oh, are you talking about Pat Sullivan?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Are you talking about Pat?
God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and they are to be used in that proportion.
Kielynn, do you have a pet peeve?
Leaving the shopping carts in a parking
lot
that's
mine.
spot.
That's mine,
okay,
too.
well, I'll pick a different one then.
No, it's okay, because I got a lot of them.
Now, here's the thing. We should not ask this question of our significant others because we will hear things that we don't want to know. Okay.
That's right. Well, I will tell you, on the list, here it goes.
Terri Stacy's.
When someone keeps saying we when discussing their favorite sports teams, this seems to bother some people.
Really?
That you say, hey, we're going to win today. That seems to be at the top of the pet peeve list. Also, when you see someone eating pizza with a fork, seems to bother a lot of people.
Sometimes it's just too hot.
I know. You know, speaking of that
Or
we
messy.
thing, one of my pet peeves was with CEOs or managers that always said my or me instead of we and
as a
our.
team. Truly,
That's
our.
exactly.
Absolutely.
And, when I taught management, I used to jump their cases about that.
This is our show. This is our show. Us here and all of you listening. Our show. Okay, so when also people don't like it that when you pretend to listen while you're browsing your phone.
Ooh.
Whoops, the call out.
And don't you tell me that doesn't happen.
Once again, we should not
us.
talk to our significant others when we're talking about these type of things.
Yeah.
You've gotten that one a couple.
And people who push both elevator buttons to speed things up seems to bother people as well.
Have you ever been in the elevator?
And people that don't use their turn signals is at the bottom.
Have you ever been in the elevator when it's a multi-story, like 13 stories, and some little kid comes in and hits all the buttons, and you just want to say, I'm going to kill this kid. I'm going to kill this kid.
Well, just for fun, here's something else for you to think about. This is kind of one of those viral things that's going right now, but it did make me think. I thought, oh, this is silly, until it took me a minute to think about it, and that is, which TV show character would be the most fun to change places with? Oh, for a week. For a week. Now, again, this is one of those viral things going around.
I think I would have chosen Dick Van Dyke at the time because I can't think of anybody else that I would want to be
the
with.
TV show?
Yeah.
Kielynn, is there anyone you would change places with for a week on TV?
I love Bridgerton, so I would be Daphne.
I would love
that's a good
Daphne.
match for you.
That's
a
a
good
good
match for you. Who's Bridgerton? Okay,
And
Terry, how about you?
I would pick Elaine from Seinfeld
Really?
to spend a week in Elaine's place.
You remember when Elaine danced?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love that character. I love her. All right, we're going to take a break because coming up, and this is really pretty important, coming up, a conversation with the president and CEO of Wheeler Mission. Had some hard conversations. That will be in the next half hour, but coming up next, the Indiana Women's Conference is in just a couple weeks. There are tickets still available, and we're going to talk to the executive director, Dana Cummings, about what superstar speakers are going to be here for that event. That's after the break. 93 WIBC. Coming up on October 23rd, the Indiana Conference for Women at the JW Marriott downtown. Tickets are still available. This conference is said to be the launch pad for the next big thing in your career and life. And joining us now is Executive Director Dana Cummings. Dana, thank you so much for your time this Sunday afternoon. What challenges do you see today for women in Indiana that this conference aims to address?
Well, I think that many of the women in my life, family, friends, coworkers, colleagues, neighbors, I see women just really juggling a lot of responsibility day in and day out. And I think one of the things that this conference does for so many women here in Indiana and across the Midwest is it really offers an opportunity to come together and sort of share space with one another, with like-minded women who are having similar experiences. And as you said, this conference really is all about professional development. However, I would also say it's really a conference that has something for everyone. So no matter sort of what you're up to in terms of your life, what kind of career you have, or what types of things that you're pursuing in your life, you're going to be able to come to this conference and really, really learn and grow with the women around you. And I think leave feeling really, really good, sort of floating out of the JW Marriott after a day like the one that we're going to have on the 23rd.
For sure. Absolutely. I've learned from so many great speakers in the past at the Women's Conference, and I'm pretty certain that there will be more great speakers this time around. Anybody you want to highlight for this year's conference?
Yes, absolutely. This year in particular, I'm so excited about it. I think this is going to be one of the best lineups we've ever had. We have Hoda Kotb coming. She will be delivering one of the keynote addresses, and everyone I know is talking about this because they're so excited to see Hoda. And then we also have Dan Harris. I've had a lot of women tell me that Dan kind of changed their life because he wrote the book 10% Happier. Really an amazing person, amazing speaker. And then the other keynoter is none other than Tina Knowles, who is Beyonce's mom, among other things. And so she wrote a book recently called Matriarch, and I can't wait to hear from her and about her story.
Unbelievable. I didn't know that.
Yes, it's amazing. It's an incredible lineup.
You did good.
Did all right this year. Not bad. Not too shabby.
Kielynn?
I would like to know about the setting up for the conference, because you have to set up these amazing lineups, and the co-founders, like you had mentioned, Billy, she and her co-founder took 2 years to set up the first one. Can you talk a little bit about that process and what you look for the audience to get out of it?
Well, I mean, as you might imagine, a conference like this, the largest of its kind in the Midwest, it's really a year-round planning process. So, kind of we get done with one conference, we take a quick little breath, pat ourselves on the back, and then we get busy right away planning the next year's conference. We have a lot of folks coming together really to plan, and it takes all year. So, and of course, what we're looking for really is to create an environment for women where they're going to leave feeling inspired, empowered, ready to go on and sort of take on the world and continue to, keep all those balls in the air that so many of us are juggling from day to day.
This is Dana Cummings. She's the executive director of the Indiana Conference for Women. It comes up October 23rd at the Marriott. Get your tickets right now at indianaconferenceforwomen.com. Explain for the first timer how it works, what the day is, how it works for you, what your day is going to be like.
For those of you who might be joining us for the first time, I would say buckle up. You're going to be really in for an incredible ride and just a real treat. So the day starts bright and early. We're at the JW Marriott downtown Indianapolis. Registration actually begins at 6:30 in the morning. So you can, if you're an early bird, you're welcome to come early and get checked in. And then we start with our first keynoter right at 8 o'clock. So the conference definitely kicks off early, and then it goes the entire day. We don't wrap up until 4 o'clock. And we have 2 meals, which is really nice, I think. Not a lot of conferences provide that, and they're usually quite yummy. So we'll have breakfast and lunch. And then there are nice little breaks in between some of the breakout sessions. We'll have passing periods where women can definitely get to network with one another. They can visit some of the other attractions that we have. They can go do a little shopping. We'll have some vendors set up. Perhaps they want to go buy a book from one of the keynoters, get it signed, that type of thing. So there's a lot going on all throughout the day.
Kielynn?
Tell us more about how much this means to the community, not just here in Indiana, but the Midwest in general.
Well, yeah, as we've discussed, this is really unique for the Midwest, the largest one-day conference for women in the Midwest. So, we're really proud of that, and we feel that we're really setting an important tone. And there are women all across the Midwest who know about the conference, who follow us, who even attend the conference. And I think, the message that it says is that folks like Hoda Kotb and Dan Harris and Tina Knowles and others see the Midwest as an important place to visit. And visit with the women here who are doing incredible things in their own lives. So we're really proud of being able to bring this caliber of talent to the Midwest to share their stories and empower Hoosier women right here and again across the Midwest as well.
Afterwards, for the organization, is there follow-up conversations to support or coaching after the conference?
I love that you asked that question because this is a conversation that we have quite a bit just internally, and it is perfect because I can talk a little bit about our leadership development series that we launched a couple of years ago. And so exactly as you said, Billy Dragu and the board and others who were really involved in developing the Indiana Conference for Women, they really wanted to figure out a way to do more to support women. So a couple of years ago, we started the leadership development series, and we are in our second year of that. So a group of women come together, and it's a 2-year program. And so they meet monthly, and they get a lot of hands-on opportunity for leadership development. They get to hear from empowering speakers when they come together each month. It's a hands-on learning process. And then in the second year, they actually get paired with a mentor. And it's just been absolutely remarkable to see the growth in these women. So as I said, we're in the second year of that. So the second cohort is undergoing their experience right now. But actually on the day of the conference this year, so October 23rd, coming right up, we will open up the application process for the third year cohort. So that is a really exciting time. And I think all women should be aware that this is coming, and it's a tremendous opportunity for folks who are interested in really expanding and going on a leadership journey with us. I would definitely be taking a look for that because it is open to anyone. Anyone can apply.
I love it. I think that is awesome.
IndianaConferenceForWomen.com if you want to get your tickets.
Thank you.
See all of the information about the agenda and everything right there.
Good deal. All right. Before we let you go, anything else of importance that you think our listeners should know?
I would just encourage everyone to take a look at that website and consider buying a ticket and coming out. I know as events get close, sometimes people think, oh, there might not be any tickets left, but we do still have tickets available for this incredible day. So definitely check us out and come out and have a wonderful experience on October 23rd.
The Indiana Conference for Women, and it is, again, coming up on the 23rd at the JW Marriott downtown. Get your tickets again at IndianaConferenceForWomen.com. Dana, thank you so much. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
It's 11:27. This is the first day. 63 degrees in beautiful downtown Indianapolis. I mean, it is a gorgeous day for tailgating. We've got a Colts game coming up in just a little over a half hour away. We're here with you until 1 o'clock, too. I'm Terri Stacy, along with Denny Smith and Kielynn Talley. Do we need to take a break?
Yeah, and we'll be joined by someone else.
And we will. We've got coming up, and this is pretty cool, the president of Wheeler Mission. He sat on a park bench for 24 hours, had some important conversations, and he's going to share that with us after today's top stories on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from our Could you be kind to me?
Get it, Denny.
The camera's on Kai. I am free to dance at will.
Hey, thanks for joining us, guys. We're watching the news. We're watching all that's happening around our country right now. There was mass shooting. Was that in South Carolina? I believe South Carolina. Something awful.
It's a bar in South Carolina. 20 people were shot.
20 people shot. I think we'll continue to watch that and listen for more at Fox News. And we're also watching what's happening with the, perhaps we pray for the release of hostages happening in the Middle East. We've got a really great story that I want to talk about now. For the last 24 hours, for the last week, for 24 hours, Perry Hines, he's the president and CEO of Wheeler Mission. He sat on a bench and live streamed one-on-one conversations with community members, including civic leaders. There were donors, former program participants, everyday passerby that would just walk by and see him. And we are so lucky because we want to catch up and see what that experience was like. And so Perry Hines is with us, the president and CEO of Wheeler Mission. Hi, Perry. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. How you doing?
We're great, and thank you so much for doing this for us today because I wanted to know so much about this experience, what it was like for you, and just we'll start there. Did you achieve what you wanted to do in that 24 hours?
Oh, we achieved that and way, way more than we ever expected. You know, God is good, and God will always provide for you, even when you're not expecting it. So we were hopeful for just initial awareness and raising the understanding and knowledge around the issues and challenges that individuals who are experiencing homelessness face every night. But we received so much more than that, and we're just phenomenal outpouring from the community, and it was a good time. It was tiring for 24 hours, but we got through it, and it was really, really special.
That was last Thursday through Friday, and this was. Perry, this was a nationwide movement. You were there. You here in Indianapolis, you were doing this on a bench, but there were others all across the country doing this as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we're part of something called Citygate Network, and Citygate is an organization or association for all the rescue missions and shelter organizations just like ours throughout the country. And I think we ended up getting somewhere between 70 to 75 different CEOs in different cities sitting on the bench for 24 hours, just like here in Indy. Denver, Atlanta, Colorado Springs, Seattle, Fresno, California, wherever it was, Dallas. So we were all sitting on a bench in those different cities, 70 or so across the country.
Perry, this is Denny Smith. A couple of logistics. How did you pick the right bench, or how did you pick the bench? What did you do for meals and bathroom? And did you ever?
We need all of the logistics.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about. He wants to know about it.
No,
exactly.
and I want to know, did you ever feel unsafe?
All good questions. Yeah, from a logistical standpoint, I did take a potty break or two. You got to, nature calls, and we were in our parking lot, which was on the corner of New York and Delaware. So we're right there, right on the point of Mass Ave. So people were coming by all hours of the night. So, yeah, I did dash into our building and take a little potty break here and there. For food, the food was right there, and the conversation was right there. And the bench, there's a good story about the bench. So we, Wheeler Mission, we have a lot of different operations. And so one of our parts of our organization is what we call social enterprises. So we run a thrift store up north. We also have a pallet shop down in our camp for long-term drug and alcohol addiction recovery guests in the outskirts of Bloomington who have a pallet shop. We make custom pallets, and it's a money-making enterprise for us. But we ask the guys down there, since they're dealing with wood and stuff all the time, hey, can you make a bench for us? And so these are the bench I actually sat on was made by some of the men in our pallet shop who are, they're down there recovering and battling and trying to get over their drug or alcohol addiction, and it's a 9-month program we have down there, but they made this special bench for me.
Did they sand the seed, or did they leave the splinters in it for you?
No. Come on. It was real. It was a nice product. It was, nice and smooth, and they stained it, and we put cushions on it.
It's beautiful.
I had to have some cushions and pillows.
Yeah.
I'm old, so I had to have some comfort there.
Kielynn.
Earlier this week, Indy's City Council approved a new record budget for 2026, and within that, there was some help for homelessness, and all of the community across many different organizations were looking to try and figure out ways to help. Did any of these conversations bring about new solutions or possible ways that we can try and help this?
Yeah, you're right. Indianapolis is really stepping up to the plate, and for many, Wheeler is 132 years old next week. And we are the largest metropolitan area in the country without a, quote, city shelter, right? So a couple of years ago, there are a lot of folks getting together and budgets approved. And so from my understanding, there's something called the Housing Hub, and the city is really going to step up to the plate and provide some additional shelter space for individuals experiencing homelessness. And during my conversations with a lot of folks, lots of different ideas and solutions came about. And it's all going to go into the conversations and the tables that we sit in, and the conversations that we have with city leaders and civic leaders. Really innovative suggestions. I'm so proud of the community. We're all banding together. Homelessness is on the rise in Indianapolis, and has been for the past several years. Last year it was 7% overall, and for families it was 17% increase in individuals experiencing homelessness. And so, but the city they have got several initiatives, not only a housing hub, and I'm not a spokesperson for the city, and I don't want to speak for them, but they have something called Streets to Home initiative as well, and that they're helping people who are in encampments go directly to apartments and get housed that way. So there are a lot of different ways and a lot of different solutions, and there are many different organizations playing a part in this critical issue for our community.
That's Perry Hines, President and CEO of Wheeler Mission. It founded in, as he mentioned, 1893. Last year, Wheeler Mission provided programs and services to 11,973 men, women, and children. WheelerMission.org. Perry, what misconceptions about homelessness do you hear or encounter every day?
No, there's several, but probably some of the most prevalent ones are, they're lazy. They did it to themselves. They don't.
And that they don't want help. I hear that often too. They don't want help.
That's right. That they don't want help. I mean, you have to understand, there's not one reason that an individual finds themselves becoming homeless. It's usually a cascading domino effect, right? Yeah. And so one thing happens, and another thing happens because of that other thing, and you lose your job, and maybe you're addicted to drugs or alcohol, and what we see is 60 to 65% of the individuals we see every night, and we see on average 700 or 800 individuals, men, women, and children, each and every night, that they suffer from an addiction of some type, alcohol or drugs, and there's some kind of mental health challenge. I just be blunt and put it out there. There's a lot of mental health challenges out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Denny or Kielynn, either one of you?
One of the things, we had a colleague here at the station once who very honestly told us that he was homeless, and he was homeless as a teenager. That he said, and it just happened. He said, I don't even know how I ended up that way, but he said, I was on the streets for 2 years. How many young under the age of 20 do you see?
We see quite a bit. There's an organization in town, though, that is simply focused on homeless youth, and there's a lot of homeless youth. And that organization is called Outreach Inc. And Andrew Neal, the president and CEO of that, a good friend of mine, he came and sat in on the bench and talked to me for a little bit. We have a great relationship with them. So when someone in our shelter comes to us in that age range, it basically what we try to do is work with them to get them over to Outreach, or the Outreach is the services. So we can provide the food, clothing, and shelter, but all the other wraparound services for that particular age demographic, I think they serve 18 to 34, young adults as well. they are much better equipped to do that. And so that's what's so wonderful about our community. You know, like I said, we're all playing a part. So we often hand off and refer and work together to make sure we find the best solutions for the individuals who find themselves in this unfortunate situation.
There were so many people that you got to talk with on this bench for the 24-hour event. Were any of those conversations surprising to you in any way?
Not surprising, but a lot of them were affirmational and confirming. You know, because what we do is we see sometimes a lot of anecdotal information and just things that happen to us in our shelter, and the people, we call them guests, and the guests that we deal with, we know what happens to those folks. But there are other people that choose not to come into our shelters. You know, it's by choice. And I am very interested in what happens to those individuals who choose not to come into our shelters, so that we can better learn and understand how we can help the people who do come to us. So not really anything surprising, but more affirmational. One of the things that I really learned, and it was a common thread with almost everybody I talked to, was the lack of affordable housing.
Yeah.
We need more high-quality, affordable housing in our community, because it does no good for them to come into my shelter or the organization, and we stabilize them and work with them and get them the stuff that they need, driver's license and Social Security numbers or whatever, you know, help them with their, you know, maybe their controlled substances issues. It does us no good to work with them and do all of that if we can't get them, you know, into a safe, affordable home.
Yep. And more people are saying that. You know, they just, especially young people that have gone, you know, they're on this right path, they're on a good path, but they still can't afford to get into housing. And you know, it's from everywhere. And Perry, you all are doing have done such an amazing job. Perri Hines, President CEO of Wheeler Mission. Before we let you go, we've got about 30 seconds. It's winter months are coming. What do you need there at the shelter?
We first of all, we need prayers, but secondly, we could always use underwear, T-shirts, blankets, anything that you can think of that someone who is on the streets would need when they come into the shelter. That's what we need. And so, but most of all, we need the support of the community, and more than anything, I need volunteers. We need volunteers to come in and help us with the more than 13,000 people that are 11 or 12,000 people we see every night, or every year. So we need volunteers, and we need all those other things too.
Absolutely. WheelerMission.org. That'll tell you where they are and what how to get that donation to them. But forever doing such good work here in our city. Perri Hines, President CEO of Wheeler Mission. Thank you, my friend. Bless your heart. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Have a beautiful day, and go Colts.
Go Colts. It's 12:47. We've got food news next. 93 WIBC.
1 in 6 seniors.
12:51. It's the First Day Show. Terry, Denny, Kielynn. Don't forget, Heartland Film Festival continues through the rest of this week. Lots of good stuff to see and premieres and all kinds of stuff.
Don't forget Zubu. Get out there.
Oh, and Zubu, go see Kai.
Wisp.
Aw, thank you. They have some lovely monster nachos to eat there. Delicious.
That sounds good.
What's a monster nacho? Size as big as your head?
It's just like loaded nachos with chicken and beans and whatnot. But they were delicious, though.
I know, speaking
With
of
purple
delicious,
nachos.
we're going to talk about food news here in a minute with Kielynn, but there's a cookbook of recipes. I didn't know this was happening, but the recipe booklet or book is called To Die For, the cookbook. It's a cookbook of gravestone
dying on me.
recipes. And apparently people are now putting recipes on their gravestones. They've taken their whatever they made, they're putting to the grave and you know that recipe.
Wow.
But then they put it on the gravestone.
So then everybody can have it as they walk by?
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's kind of neat. I do think it's kind of neat. Rosie Grant is the one that did this one at Ghostly Archive on social media accounts. The cookbook again called To Die For, a cookbook of gravestone recipes. It's kind of cool.
I read a book once where a guy put something on his gravestone, and it was sort of a trail that led them from the clue on his headstone led them to one thing, to another thing, and it was a great big ordeal, and it had a wonderful ending about the meaning of life. But you had to follow this trail, and
that's cool.
It's a really good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Kielynn, we leave it to you now for your food news, please.
I want to mention, because you talked about Heartland Film, it is presented by Alamo Drafthouse, and they have a lovely food menu for fall that is happening right now. So if you're going over there for one of your Heartland Film Festival screenings, check it out. Delicious options.
Okay.
And Sweet Lorraine and Auschwitz, our guests from last week, they're going to be screening there. They also have their world premiere today at the Tobias Theater. So congratulations to them. I'm excited for all of the reception around that movie.
Pumpkin spice?
Maybe not full pumpkin spice, but they've got plenty of different drinks for you. Cookies even, sandwiches, pizza. Delicious.
Cool.
Delicious. Okay, moving on to food news. Do you remember when the bird flu came around?
Oh,
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, well, it's returning.
Oh, no. Egg prices.
Yeah, it hit a commercial duck farm in LaGrange County. Yeah.
Ducks. Well, ducks.
Well, at least it's ducks, but that's still...
I mean, I don't believe me. I'm sad about the ducks, but...
Yeah, not very good. It has a flock size of more than 2,600 ducks.
Oh, gosh.
That tested positive for the flu. So
here we go.
We'll be on the lookout for as that kind of makes its way around. This is the first time since May, and that feels like just last month when that all happened. Happy that that's around, but hopefully we can get through this. Some other sad news: Mochi Joey Donuts. They've been a friend of First Day. We've tasted
I love them.
They're closing their doors. Yeah. They will remain open through November 2nd, though, so if you would like to support or try out the Mochi Joy Donuts that we did, you can do that for this last month of operation. Visit them over on Fisher's.
You know what? It's a very specialty donut, and we've got a lot of donut shops around. You know, we do.
They said they weren't making enough sales, and so they had to close their doors and make the big decision.
That's unfortunate.
So right now it's just trying to make ends meet for the last little bit before they do close their doors officially. But in other news, Piedra Mexican Restaurant opened this week downtown. Pretty exciting. They have, I guess, some luxury Mexican food. I don't know the difference for that.
Well, there's a big difference between, Taco Bell and...
Okay, all right.
There's Taco Bell. You move up to El Rodeo, which is really, really pretty good. Then you go to Verde and then Piedra and La Hacienda. There's different...
Yeah, they're from the
different
Verde.
levels.
Oh, my gosh. I'm intrigued. I'll have to go try it out, and I'll let you know. I'll report back. Going to some more national news, Domino's is refreshing their logo. Not as much like Cracker Barrel. They are literally just redoing their logo to more of an actual domino.
Now, does everybody want to get all outraged?
We're going to see.
Do we need to jump on the outrage bandwagon that Domino's is going to change
stick with the blue and red
logo?
motif?
They are sticking with that. The boxes, instead of having both of the domino sides, it's just one square of it, if that makes sense, one half. And then they also came up with a new jingle for themselves.
Domino's.
And that was...
I like Domino's.
Yeah, with the Domino's. Cheetos, and that was Shabuzi on it. I think that's pretty cool.
That's cool. Love it.
Very clever indeed.
Love it.
There's always so much to get to, but Terry had...
Are you saying we gotta go?
I know, it's already time.
What? I hardly got enough of my food news.
Steak and Shake, they're putting in great big American flags at all of their locations.
Yeah.
God bless them.
God bless them.
Founded
Right,
right here
Steak
in
and Shake.
Indiana,
That
by
is
the
the
way.
original smash burger people. They were doing smash burgers before you even knew about a smash burger.
And on that note,
we gotta go.
Colts!
Go Colts! Thanks for joining us this morning. Have a great day.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate the paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?